the essential planes. By the way, Gerard did put up those videos from the mold making on YouTube. And I know you're taking it now, but it's terribly humbling. I watched it and I just, boy, I am a dork. That's what I've learned. And I'll embrace it. I'm the dork, the dorky teacher. That's why I'm wearing my dorky coat. So where was I? I'll send out the email if you guys really care to do something again. But here we are with these hands. And essentially what it is, I'm going to start you out by teaching you how to build an armature. An armature is a very important thing to sculpture because normally when you're doing anything, let's just say what you're most familiar with is a bronze sculpture in some park somewhere. Well, that's originally started through a maquette process, meaning small models, and then it's built enlarged mechanically to through a geometric pointing system, which is, there's several different traditional ways. The first way is just simply X, Y, Z axis, bringing up points to enlarge something. Another way is a mechanical method of pantograph. You ever see a pantograph with writing, where there's two arms that copy? They used to do this before, printers and things, but actually Thomas Jefferson had a pantograph to copy his own letters. It's in office. But this would be a three-dimensional pantograph where you can take a small model and with a second arm coming off, working in a parallel way, pointing to a larger object. That's been around for about 150 years, that method, maybe 200. But obviously the more current method is through digital means, which is using a 3D scanner and then milling something in likely a styrofoam to within, let's say, a half inch of the surface. So the armature would be a carved piece of styrofoam that then they take this clay and either pack it by hand over the surface, these are generally done by technicians, or they actually melt it down into a cauldron and then use a spray gun to spray it on. So then the artist would come back in and resurface it. And the nice thing about that is that if you really want to change something, you can cut into styrofoam very easily and move it. Or add, so that becomes the process. And so that armature is a very precise thing. But a lot of artists need to make their own armature for, let's say this is your model. And you know that you need, Latasha, they look a little short. Let me see how long it is. That's too short. It has, no, from the fingertips down. How many did you have?
I told you to.
From your fingertip to about, almost to your elbow, maybe 2 or 3 inches short. Okay. These were a little short, but hopefully not as long. So what I'm going to teach you how to do today is to build that armature. Now, a couple of materials that you'll become very familiar with, and any sculptor is very familiar with these materials, is this armature wire. An armature wire is an alloy, which is mostly aluminum, and it bends easily enough to work it by hand, but it's stiff enough to hold up clay. Usually, though, this is good for fingers and small figures. If you were to go with something bigger, you need thicker armature wire. They, of course, sell it in multiple sizes. And we have a second size here, which is tiny, which is usually just for lashing. So that's what we're going to use it for. We're going to lash up our models. Let me give you, I have an example right here of a model or an armature that had been, the clay's been pulled off, and you guys have been using the clay. But you can see the lashing in here. You'll see that we've, tightened it up through here, and it's stapled down. So I'll show you exactly how to do it. First thing you want to do, obviously, is to cut your wire. The second thing we're going to do is just grab a board There's a bunch of board right here for you, and this is fine. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil, maybe use your notebook, okay, just to start mapping out your hand, okay? You want to keep, let's all get those materials ready, and also you'll need your pliers, so why don't you cut